following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi, welcome to The Ring and All Other Sports. My name is Leo Connors. This is my partner here, Derek Dukes.
What's up?
We got a bunch of things to talk about, so we're going to get right into it.
You know, I think we should start off real quick, though. The weather is phenomenal. You can see that we're losing layers.
yeah.
I'll never lose the hat. Sorry. I like the hat. The hat works. Castle's back room smokes. You want to go get him in Nashville, do it right. But I'm telling you right now, you can see that we're starting to get a little, starting to lose some layers.
The shorts will be coming out soon.
Yes. Yeah, you can't see those. You don't want to see them in shorts anyway. Don't worry about it.
I'm sexy.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Forget about it.
I'm not afraid to admit it that I'm sexy. But right, girls?
That's
At least
right.
Maria thinks
Maria
I am,
will-
and that's all that matters.
She's already knocking on the TV going, stop it. Stop it.
Yeah, well, she won't touch the TV because it's that plasma and all
that's
that.
right,
She
that's
yells
right.
at Isaiah all the time not to touch
That's how old
the
school
TV.
I am, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so listen, Derek. They had a couple of qualifying matches for the WWE Global
For the Global,
Cruiserweight
yes.
down in Evolve. I think it was in Jersey. But Evolve 61, T.J. Perkins took on Fred Yell.
Yes,
Sorry,
yep.
And T.J. Perkins went over. T.J.'s managed in Evolve by Stokely Hathaway.
Ring of Honor.
Who's part of Ring of Honor.
Yes.
Yeah, he does a really good job.
Yes,
He's,
great
I
job.
like him. I think he's pretty cool. He was actually with Moose and all that.
Yes.
He's really good. But T.J. went over.
Yep.
So he qualified for
Good.
it. And Drew Gulak took on Tracy Williams. Now,
Yes.
I've only seen Tracy on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And very impressive kid.
Yep.
Really good wrestler.
They're
but,
both coming up. They're coming up very well.
yeah. But Drew went over.
Yep.
You know, and obviously the WWE has eyes on these guys, or they wouldn't have gone over.
Well, first of all, they have to have eyes on all of them because nobody would be in this tournament.
Right.
And you know how the WWE works when it comes to talent, which we will get into.
Oh, yeah, we will. Oh, very soon.
You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
man?
Oh, yeah. But I don't know. I can't wait to talk about that.
Me too.
But so Drew Gulak and T.J. Perkins are now in the Global Cruiserweight Series tournament that's going to be on the WWE Network.
Correct.
Just real quick, and they're joining the already announced guys that we've talked about. Local guy,
Yep.
Tommaso Ciampa,
Yes, sir.
Johnny Gargano, Zack Sabre Jr., Noam Dar, and I love saying this name, Ho Ho Lun, and Akira Tozawa, Rich Swann, and I read somewhere, it hasn't been really announced by the WWE, but Lince Dorado, the masked wrestler who wrestled for Chikara and other groups, supposedly is in the tournament also.
Oh.
I've seen him on video too, and it's kicking work.
Yeah,
You know?
he did some AAA stuff, didn't he?
I think he did.
Yeah,
he
that's
might
right,
have.
yeah.
And he's really talented. So far, you know what I mean? They got 10 guys announced for the tournament, and there's going to be many more.
Oh, yeah.
You can guarantee at least 16. I don't know if they've announced it, but I'm thinking probably more like 24, 32.
Well,
I'm hoping.
let's hope so.
I'm hoping because there's so much talent out here, especially up and down the East Coast.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Phenomenal talent.
Definitely.
But that Cruiserweight series, from what I've heard, is going to be 220 pounds and under.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Really?
So Tommaso just got in there because he's like 215.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's really put on, the muscles. You know what I mean? He's packed on
he
some muscle.
looks wonderful.
He was never real, some wrestlers you see, they start up and they're real thin, really thin. Tommaso wasn't really thin.
No.
You know what I mean? But he wasn't jacked like he is now.
No.
And he's in phenomenal shape. And again, like I've said it before, if you've never seen Tommaso Ciampa wrestle or any of these guys I
Google
just
that
mentioned,
kid.
you got to Google him.
Yep.
You got to watch him. Phenomenal talent. The Sicilian psychopath.
Yep.
Can't wait till he's up in the WWE running with that gimmick. Because I'll tell
You mean main stage?
main stage.
Because he's at NXT right now.
But yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah,
Main
the
stage.
WWE,
We want him to walk
Raw,
the main stage.
Yeah,
Yes.
Raw, SmackDown.
Better
it's
believe
gonna
it.
be great. All right, well, enough about that. Derek's been dying to talk about. And I
Shaking.
told him today, you wanted to open with this, but I
Shaking.
figured we could do the other thing because it was just going to be 5 minutes like it just was.
Yeah.
It's not under. But Adam Rose in the WWE.
Can I?
Take it
Can
away.
I?
Take it away.
Dumbass.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Are
he
you
is a
serious?
dumbass.
Let me tell you right now, man. I look at all these guys, which we'll get into Ryback and so forth, with their attitudes, with where their character's going. If Vince said to me, and I'll shoot, if Vince said to me, here's a shovel, go shovel it against the tide.
Right.
How fast?
Right.
How long?
It's your job.
Where do you want me to do it?
Exactly.
And these guys are, I don't like where my character's going.
Yeah.
But does the check cash every week?
Exactly.
It must, right? Because it's still working.
Yeah.
Well, you got someone like Adam Rose,
Yeah.
who, first of all, he got hit with a 30 on the wellness program.
Right. 30-day suspension.
Let me explain that to you guys.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon, WWE has a 30, 60, 90. 30, 60, 90 days, of course. It's a wellness program. So if you pee in a cup and it comes back dirty for whatever reason it is,
Right.
30, 60, 90 is pretty much fired anyway.
Pretty much.
So this guy gets hit with a 30. Monday morning, Sunday morning, whatever it was.
Which had to have been going on for a little bit because of what the charges are.
Oh, my God.
You know,
it had to be.
Yeah.
It
had to be.
Not in minutes.
Right. How do you
How do you-
tampering with the witness? You
Well,
know what I mean? That has to have been going
and then
on.
finally the story was really released, and here comes.
Was it?
That's
Okay,
correct.
I didn't hear it all because I was
So
very
what happened
busy
was
today.
him and wifey got into a contest of pissing contest.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you mean? Well, hold on. What do you mean?
Well,
Like peeing? No.
No,
It's-
no,
all
not that
that's
way. Right.
Let's get it right. Like,
exactly. Pissing contest has them pissed off at each other,
what? Okay.
yelling,
Okay.
screaming back
Yep,
and forth.
Thank you.
Well, what happened was is that it got so heated where she was about to use her cell phone to call the police. He grabbed her face. Please don't call, please don't call. And as he grabbed her face, he went down and grabbed the phone out of her hand. But what he
Right.
didn't realize is she already hit the button while it was in her hand.
So the cops hear everything.
So the cops hear everything because, and of course, as soon as your cell phone kicks on, they hit the tower, so and they trace it.
Yeah.
So when they get there, they arrest him for domestic violence. First of all,
Yep.
the tampering with a witness
Yeah. What is that?
is
What was that
because
from?
he took the phone from her and hung it up.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's pretty much the same in
We-
the same type of.
We were
charges.
speaking with our producer. I was speaking with the producer earlier.
Right.
And I
Dick
was.
Gagnon, by the way.
That's correct.
Plug for you, Dick.
Great guy.
Nice brother.
And what they're considering that as a crime because a crime was being committed.
Right.
She thought she was being assaulted, so
Right.
she called the police. Tampering with a witness
Right. Yep.
and domestic assault.
Wow.
Or domestic battery, whatever way that goes.
Yeah. That's what they call it. Battery domestic violence.
Correct.
Is what I read.
He got out today.
Yeah, I see. I just saw that when I was pulling in. It
He
was
got
popped up on my phone.
released today.
Yeah.
3 days in the
jail.
can.
Yep. No one came to bail him out.
No one came to bail him out.
Actually, though, you know something? On a domestic case, if
I
I'm
don't-
not mistaken,
I don't think you can.
Yeah, you have to go to court
Right. I don't think you can. So I think he
for a
went to,
domestic charge.
right. I think he went to court today, so on and so
Not
forth to
that I know.
release, something like that.
Yeah.
But are you kidding me?
Already on suspension.
You're already working on your 30-day
Yeah.
for peeing dirty.
And your job, your dream job,
Man.
right? Your dream job, obviously, right? It's his dream job. You're going to be a wrestler. You're working for the WWE.
You're a professional wrestler. There's only one stage you want to end up on.
That's right. Unless you're a guy that likes to go overseas, like some guys do, and like
Listen.
Stan Hansen, we talked. He loved it over there.
IWGP.
Yeah.
Those are main stages.
Oh yeah.
You
I'm
ever
just
seen the
saying, like,
Tokyo
yeah,
Dome?
yeah. But most people were thinking more like
Right.
just WWE.
WWE.
You know?
You ever seen the Tokyo Dome hold
Oh,
30,000
yeah,
people?
It's incredible. Building.
It's an unbelievable
I've
place.
only seen it on TV.
Oh, I've been there twice. So,
Wow.
but the thing is that this guy is first of all, they released a statement today also that he's released. He's done.
Oh, they did. So
Oh, yeah.
you knew that was
Yeah.
happening. We both knew that
He
was
is
going to happen.
the word. Here's the word they used: suspended indefinitely.
Yeah. See you later.
You're done.
Yeah, all done.
Well, because
All
now
done. Plus, he's a mid-card guy.
he went to a mid-card guy. He never went to a main stage guy.
Right, as
And
a top dog.
The worst
One
part
of the top dogs.
right. He didn't make it to a John Cena status, so on and so
Not
forth.
many guys do Cena, but you
No,
know what I mean? But I know what
exactly.
you're saying. I mean,
Exactly.
he didn't make it up to Dean or
Nope,
anybody.
he didn't make
you
it up
know?
that high. And the worst part about it is that you're already on your 30-day rip because of whatever. I have no idea what he was taking. I don't condone it.
I do. It was Adderall, and he had a prescription for it. He did, and he had the doctor write a note to the WWE. It was posted, but it was Adderall. That's what it was.
See,
I know, and I can I know for a fact. Right? You know what I
Well,
mean?
see,
It was Adderall.
Then this is what kills me. If they
He had a script.
if you have a legit script and you are on something to take care of whatever you have,
Right.
how can you be suspended
I
for
know.
something a doctor says legit doctor
Right.
says he needs this?
Right. I don't know.
Makes no sense to me, man.
Me either. It's ridiculous.
But you know what that means to me? That means to me that somewhere in the people of Triple H or
Yeah.
whoever, they wanted to release him anyway.
Yeah, well, you could see the writing on the wall anyway.
You see where it went down to.
Guys, you guys should have seen Adam Rose's gimmick before
Oh.
he did Adam Rose. He was
Oh.
Leo Kruger, South African guy, was much better than Adam Rose.
I liked Kruger,
liked it too.
and he was a great heel.
Yes, and he was probably 30 to 40 pounds heavier with muscle.
Yep.
He got very thin to
Yep.
do this Adam Rose thing. And he never impressed me once as Adam Rose.
No.
Never.
Nope.
And I was excited when he came up, when I heard he was coming up. I didn't know what the gimmick was.
Right.
But I knew he had changed his name. And I was like, well, this ought to be good
Right.
anyways, because it's Leo Kruger. He was awesome. He
Great.
was the FCW champion.
Great heel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he could work.
Yep.
He had a great look. He still has long hair, but he had the long flowing hair. And again, he could work, man. He
Yeah,
could work.
great worker.
And I just don't get it.
I don't either.
And obviously, though, we don't get his mentality right now,
We
too. 'cause
can't
he's
tell you where he
definitely
is.
all messed
We
up.
can't tell you where he stands.
Was the suspension part of, you know what I mean, the argument with his wife?
Right.
We won't know. Maybe
never
it'll
know.
come out someday. But as Vince would say, we wish you well in your future endeavors.
Everest, correct.
Speaking of future endeavors, I think we should talk about another guy who looks like he's on the way out the door for complaining about pay,
Yes.
which pretty much will get you fired. I'm
But,
sorry.
so to interrupt you on that,
Yeah.
an hour ago,
Yep.
they put 2 more guys on the release.
Well, you might as well. Why don't you save it before we get to? Let's talk about this guy first.
Well, we are talking about this guy.
So Ryback is now gone.
An hour ago, they released him.
Wow. See that? Thank you.
believe
Save
it?
the other guy. Save the other guy.
Can
till
you
we're done with
believe it?
Wow.
So I
Wow.
understand having a mouth in professional wrestling. Trust me, I understand it.
Right.
But you're working for the main stage. You're working
Right.
for the big
Your
dog.
dream job again. if I
Again
need
with
to
the dream job,
it
man.
is true.
And I don't exactly. It is so true. But so why would you give a rat's ass what they tell you to do?
Right. And you know something? I love how you said it earlier because when you talk about shoveling,
Yes.
I used to say this I'll say it to Jisiah, to Maria and stuff, my last job, before, like the same,
Yep.
I didn't, at first, me and the boss didn't get along.
Yep.
She wanted a friend to get the job, whatever. I won her over in the end, But I used to tell people, like, I'd come into work and there'd be a note in the book that, hey, I need you guys to go set up the gymnasium time. Everybody would bitch and cry, right?
But you wouldn't.
Right. And because it's your job. And I used to tell the guys, you know what I mean? If they wanted me to shovel shit,
Yep.
right? I may not like it. I can cuss her out or him out
Yep.
while I'm doing it, but I'm going to be the best shit shoveler you
Right.
ever saw.
As I'm getting
Because-
tied.
Because, again, about being a hard worker, real quick off topic, because it is going with this. Jisiah was out of school a couple weeks ago. Went to work with Maria and stuff, right? She texts her brother, you got to come downstairs and watch this kid work. And he's working hard, right? Seriously, doing a packaging job. And Louis comes down, Maria's brother's Louis, and he says, wow, Jisiah, you're doing such a good job. And he said, well, that's what Poppy told me. And I'm Poppy.
Right.
And Lou goes, well, what did Poppy tell you? Well, Poppy said that you got to be a hard worker because if you're a lazy worker, you can't get that stink off you. You know what I mean?
Wow.
If you're a hard worker and then someday you're not doing as good, they say, oh, he must not be feeling well because he's usually a hard worker.
Wow.
Now, this kid's 8 years old.
Wow.
But I drill that in his head all the time because he knows when I work my overtime.
Right.
It's important to be a hard worker. I learned that from my father and my late brother, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be a hard worker. And that's the best thing you can do for yourself when you get older and get a job.
Right.
You definitely don't want to be known as lazy.
Nope. No.
You know?
No, you don't.
But so I just had to say that because it just kind of went with the flow.
It's kind of the same
But
thing.
Ryback is
Oh,
now
come on.
gone.
Yep.
And I'll tell you right now, I was never a huge Ryback fan. I wasn't.
No.
I'm not going to say he wasn't talented or whatever. He had a real good chance of being a top dog
Yeah.
at the beginning when he feed me
Yep.
more. When he first came out of Nexus and all that.
Nexus,
okay?
yes, correct.
Now, this kid, they were pushing him, and if they would have kept pushing him, he could have been a huge star.
Yep.
He had the catchphrase. He had the body.
He definitely got the
He
look.
had the body.
Yeah.
But then they pulled him back, pushed him, pulled him back. He never reached the heights that he did originally because they kept pulling him back.
Yep, correct.
I don't know why. We've also obviously heard about all the guys he's hurt in the ring. Because
Correct.
if you do watch a Ryback match, you can tell he's very stiff.
He's real stiff.
CM Punk complained about him
Yep.
big time.
Yep.
I heard other guys have.
Kalisto.
Poor
Sin
little
Cara.
guy. Sin Cara, yep. Yeah, you're right. I did hear Sin Cara, and I didn't hear Kalisto.
Oh,
but
God,
obviously, you know what I mean?
But you know what? How many more times did Kalisto keep going back? You know
he
why?
kept
Because he's a worker.
Yeah, because that's his job.
That's
he
correct.
does what he's told.
See, I didn't hear you say that again. Because it's his
It's his
job,
job.
and this is what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly. exactly.
Instead, he wants to have a mouth. I don't like where my character's
and
going.
I don't like the pay
I don't like the pay I'm getting. Why aren't I getting more of this?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Why not?
Gee, how's your big house in Florida, and how's your big house in Hawaii?
Exactly.
And how's that expensive car you drive?
Right.
And how's the expensive clothes you buy?
Yep. Now we was complaining about pay too.
That's what
And I really don't understand. I'm not in the wrestling business, okay? Never was. I'm a huge fan. I've been around the business for a long time.
Yep.
Now, I thought they had contracts.
Well, okay. Here's the thing about back in the day, which Big Matty, A-Train, whatever you want to call him, Matt Bloom.
Yeah.
So
Tenzai.
When he first went to work for WWE, we got to see him. I think it was in Peabody. He was seeing his dad or something.
Okay.
We got a chance to catch up with him, and I remember seeing him, give him a big hug. I'm like, what's going on? So we went up to Kowloon like we always do.
Yeah.
We sat down.
WWE guys love the Kowloon. So real quick, well, for a quick plug then.
Because
whenever WWE's in town, when the show's over, they go to the Kowloon. So if you really want to
Kowloon
meet
Restaurant.
Revere Saugus.
That is Saugus, Massachusetts, Route 1.
Route 1, yes. Right down the road from the Golden Banana.
That's right.
Been there many
Easy.
times.
No, you haven't.
Sorry, Ma.
And so I sat down with him with a couple other guys, and we said, okay, so Matty, we don't work for Vince. We're indie guys and so on and so forth. What's a contract like?
Oh, nice.
So he says, okay, I'll shoot with you, which thank God he did. It was wonderful.
Right. So now you can tell me.
So so what was in the 90s?
Oh, yeah. What, late 90s?
Basic contract back then was only $250,000.
Only.
Okay, now hang on. You heard me say only.
I know, but they have to pay for travel.
Now let me finish.
So
So I said only $250,000.
Right.
And of course, myself, and we were like, oh my God, you're working for Vince and that's great. And of course, Matty was like, well, yeah, it's great. And he was happy. He never talked down, ever.
Right.
That's one thing.
He doesn't seem like the type of
Never, ever. But he said to us, okay, let's start at the top. I have to pay for my own flights. And we go, what?
Yeah.
You
That
what?
takes a chunk of change.
You what? Oh, yeah. Oh, wait a minute.
Paid. I really
No,
did. Did
so
you,
a
though?
lot of guys did. Well, remember, he's not a John Cena.
Right.
He's not a Rock.
Right.
He's not a Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, I understand that.
So here's the top. Okay, so now I pay for my flights. When I get to the flights, I have to get a car.
Yep.
I got to get a car. I got to get a room.
Yep.
From the room, I got to get some food. I got to eat, right? I got to eat every day.
Yeah.
So those things
Gym
right
fees,
there.
because they work out. They got to pay. I don't. Maybe they probably could slide in if the guy is a wrestling fan.
Well, if you're a local guy.
Yeah. Okay.
So all that right off the top.
Right.
So
That's a lot of money too.
Let's just talk about you and I right now. You and I, tomorrow, Friday, we're going to get on a plane. We're going to go to California for the week.
Right.
A round trip flight California in a car is what, about $550?
Oh yeah, probably.
That's just you and me.
Yeah.
I didn't say that
Right.
it's a room.
Right.
I didn't say we're going to go eat.
Yep.
I said that's the flight in our car.
$550. Unreal.
That's so I'm going to book it.
Yep.
$550 because it's going to be. Well, you know what? I'll cover the car. You pay me later. You just get your flight, whatever it is.
Yeah. We know we wouldn't screw each other over.
But that's the
money.
whole thing, man. So just use round numbers. Let's say it's $500 a flight
Right.
plus car,
Yeah.
plus room. And do you really think he's going to stay at at the Lowe's down in the bottom?
Right, the Motel 6.
Yeah,
no, he's at the Hilton.
They're at a Hilton. They're at something like that.
Is there reason? I'm sorry, but are there still Hiltons? 'Cause I haven't seen a Hilton in a long time.
I think there's one in Boston.
Okay.
I think that's the one
Just
still at the
curious.
airport.
I'm
I know.
Sure, I'm sure there
you're
is.
right about that. It's kind of funny. I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
But so he ran it down for us. He said, that's all one and great and this and that, but at the end of the year, and then think about this, then I got to pay taxes on that money anyway.
Yes.
Because, which a lot of people didn't know, when you work for Vince McMahon, you're 1099.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Oh, no, hang on. Vince McMahon has professional wrestlers that work for him,
Right.
but they're all 1099.
So that's like what? Individual?
Correct.
Right?
That means,
like
you know what?
Independent contractor.
You know what, Leo?
Is that what it
You're
is?
an independent contractor to me,
Right. Yep.
and I'm going to pay you this much to work for me,
Right.
but I'm not going to pay your taxes. So here, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Sign this piece of paper.
Right.
So yeah, I get to pay you this,
Right.
but also, oh wait, that's a tax write-off now on that side of it
For the person that's
for the person that's doing it.
Right.
So Matty broke it down for us, and between this and that, and now think about this.
Yeah.
how many days are in a year? 365.
Yeah, and you're traveling at least 300.
At
right?
least 300.
Yeah, at least.
At least 300.
At least.
And never mind going overseas.
Right.
Going to Europe, going all these places.
Yep.
And so he said, roughly, if I'm lucky, I'll make $100,000 this year.
Now, real quick on that, like with the planes and stuff, I think when they go overseas, though, doesn't Vince charter a plane, or does he not do that anymore since the plane incident? Okay, all right, that's cool. All right, well,
it's ridiculous.
So what's your take, though? You think he should have been
Here's
released
my
for
take.
running his mouth?
Here's my take.
Really?
Ready? Shut your face.
Yeah.
And go to work.
That's right. I knew you were going to say that. I'm glad.
Shut
you
your
said
face
it.
and go to work.
That's right.
Oh, I still have 3 more years on my contract?
Right.
Okay. Where's that tied again?
Right.
I need a bigger shovel.
Yeah.
I don't
Exactly.
understand these guys, man.
Me
And I'm
either,
sorry.
Mark. Me
I
either.
don't get it because
Me either.
I wrestled for, well, off and on for 18
Yeah.
years.
Yep.
18 years. I would have loved to have been called up to the big stage.
Yeah, to make a contract like
You know what I
that.
mean?
I hear you, buddy.
I would have
hear
been I was an extra 3 times.
you. Yep. That's cool.
You know,
Wish
but
I was. That would have been.
an
be fun.
extra is cool.
Yeah.
But it's not a contract. It
Right.
means that you're gonna come in, you're gonna work for an hour, and you're gonna leave.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, your dream, if you're, like you said, if you're a professional wrestler, your dream is to be there.
Main stage.
Main stage, WWE. And like I said earlier, some guys actually really do have aspirations for Japan and Japan
right,
only.
right.
I know, for instance, used to work for CZW, Sick Nick Mondo.
Okay.
He was never, from what I've heard, I think I saw it in a shoot with him, that his, goal was to Japan.
IWGP.
You know, Colt Cabana, hey Colt, is making quite a career from doing the top independents in the United States and tours of Europe.
Yep.
Germany, all those countries, and Japan.
Yep.
And he's making, I guarantee he's making more than $250,000, I would think.
Let's hope so.
I'm just saying,
Let's hope so.
I would think, it's Colt.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, I would think. I'd like to think that he's
Yeah.
making that. I don't know, and I'm not, Colt, don't worry about it. I'm not trying to get into your personal affairs.
Right.
But my take on it is the same as yours.
Shut your face and
Shut
work.
your mouth, get to work.
That's it.
Work harder,
Yeah.
and maybe you'll get that push again. Come up with some ideas. How about that? Right, though?
No, exactly.
How about coming up with your own
Let
ideas?
me give you the perfect incident of that.
Okay.
The New Day.
Listen up, guys.
The New Day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They went to Stephanie and Paul, and they said, "Hey, we have kind of an idea.
Right.
We want to do this." So Stephanie and Paul went, "Well, let's run it by the old man."
Right.
What the old man said, "You know what? Why don't you run with it?"
Nice.
And Kofi was like, "What?
Yeah.
What?"
Was it Kofi's idea?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Well, what happened was it was a mutual agreement
Right.
of, well,
they were hanging together anyway.
well, hey, Leo, how about this?
Right.
How about this? And they were like, "Oh, wow, that sounds pretty good.
Right.
Why don't we run it by the? No, you run it. No, you run it. No, you run it
Yeah,
by the
yeah,
boss."
nobody
so
wants to
Kofi
run it
goes,
by
"I'll
him."
run it by the boss."
Right. He'd been there the longest.
Looks like Kofi's been there the longest. I mean,
Right.
what Xavier just come up from NXT.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Okay," and they ran it by the boss. So what'd the boss say? "You know what? Why don't you run with it?"
Right.
It's been 2 years.
Yeah. And at first, it wasn't going so well for him.
Well, they were
At first, you got to admit, it wasn't.
no, but I think the
They were
skits,
persistent, though.
even as heels, the skits
Yeah.
were phenomenal,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's no doubt.
funny as hell.
But they just weren't getting over.
They weren't
to it,
getting over, and then finally a couple of pushes here and there.
I'd like to find out, though, exactly when was that switch
Yeah,
clicked on
The
from
turning
the
point.
fans? Yeah. When was that? You know what I mean? You had just said something real quick too about like how they went to the boss because it
Yep.
was work. They had an idea.
Yep.
Shoot, I had an idea. I got this show. I needed a guest for my 3rd episode. I asked Derek. It went so well. When it was over, I said, "You interested in doing this on a permanent gig?" You know what I mean? And it's worked
of
out.
course I said no.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, and then I begged. No. But it worked out. And then he moved to Florida. I did a couple shows by myself again. Wasn't happy doing it alone. And I know I talked about this a couple weeks ago, but then I put it out on Facebook. I needed another co-host. And not even 5 minutes later, I get a text from Derek telling me he's coming back home. I was dancing, jumping up and down in my living room. Maria's like, "What's wrong with you?" So I told her. She's like, "That's awesome."
Well,
because she knew. When you left, I was bumming. I was
Well,
like, "Man, things are starting to click."
We just talked
between
about
us."
contracts, right?
Yeah.
Well, when someone offers you $20,000 more a year,
Yeah.
I don't care what the plane
Don't
flight.
tell them how much I'm paying you, dude.
Sorry. I don't care what the plane flight was. I was coming home. Yeah.
Well, like I said, man, I was psyched and and I really do believe the chemistry between us is getting better and better. I really do. I've been getting compliments from a lot of people that are watching the show and stuff like that. So the little kids at the school love us. We're celebrities to the little kids.
Funny you said that. I was at my favorite place. Castro's back room.
I love when you post pictures.
Main Street in Nashua. Come out for smokes.
Better make them take me there.
That's right. So I was in Castro's a couple nights ago, and one of the locals comes in. His name's Paul, nice guy.
Yeah.
He says, "Hey, I was going to do the channels the other night, and I caught you on television."
I love that.
You did? He goes, you know me. I'm not a wrestling fan. I go, okay. No, that's to each his own.
Who's that goofy guy you with?
He goes, to each his own. I go, to each his own. He goes, but let me tell you, you know why I stopped? Number one, because I like you and I wanted to see your show. He goes, but number two, you really know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, you do.
I said, well, and I told him straight out. I said, my partner and I said, the gentleman I'm with, I didn't mean to insult you, say gentleman.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I go, because we have chemistry, because we both have a love for what we like when it comes to sports.
Yeah.
But of course, myself, being in professional wrestling, him being around it for so long, it's a contrast of boom, it hits perfect.
It's perfect.
So when he said, I told a few other people, this is a great job, and I was like, oh, thanks, man. Because of course I tell everyone when I go to Castro's, hey, catch my show, go on YouTube, so on and so forth. Oh, what channel is that on?
Plug it as much as we can.
It's much, no matter what.
Right.
And that was cool.
Right.
So he told, someone and so on and so forth. So our show's getting out there.
Yeah.
Which I love, brother.
Me too. All the teachers at my school know about it now.
I love it.
You know what I mean?
Love it, man.
It's we're getting there,
Yeah.
Guys, tell your friends. I'd love to get the views up a little higher even. But I do believe in the next couple weeks our views are going to skyrocket. Because next week we got one of the greatest ring announcers, in my eyes, all time.
Yes, sir.
There's been some great ring announcers, too.
Yep.
And I'm not just trying to plug it and then kiss his ass.
No.
Rich Palladino is one of the best ring announcers I've ever heard. And I'm not the only one that feels that way. Derek's not the only one that feels that way.
No, definitely not.
Thousands of people. And I'll tell you right now, if millions knew him, millions would be saying it.
You better believe it.
There's no doubt about it.
Better believe it.
It's phenomenal. And real quick, just say we're talking about guests, and then we're going to get to something else, the cuts. Sonny Goodspeed, a wrestler. He grew up in Nashua.
Yep.
Big guy. Wait till you see Sonny. I am so psyched.
He's so
have him.
He's so charismatic.
Oh, he's so much charisma, and one of the nicest guys. And he's a big dude.
Yep.
So you'll see, he'll be between us, and it'll be like, wow, man, he's going to take up the whole table.
He's a big boy.
But, Sonny, that's in a good way, brother.
That's right.
Can't wait to have you on the show.
Great to see you, bro.
But, all right, so listen, the WWE cut.
Yep.
Now they've cut up to 11 guys.
Yep.
But we've already discussed 2.
Yep.
They've cut 9 other guys.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with the least
that
people care
yep.
about. Cameron. Used to be a tag team with...
Whoa, hang on. First of all, she was a Funkadactyl.
Yes. What is that other girl's name?
Please don't do this to me.
Jimmy Uso's wife.
Uso's wife. Oh, my God.
Naomi,
thank you. Oh, my God, thank you. Yes.
I got it right.
That's my boy. But thank God, because she was a waste of space anyway.
Oh, beautiful girl.
Pretty girl. But you know
Dumb
what?
as dirt.
Oh, just in the wrong business.
Horrible.
Wrong.
It's enough about talking about her.
Exactly. We're already done.
Real quick.
Step over
the worst thing I ever seen anybody do in a wrestling ring. She went down. She had the person on their stomach. She went to cover him and looked at the ref because he wasn't counting and said, count. Hello, the guy's on his stomach. Idiot.
I couldn't believe that.
Okay. And not that he's not really, we'll go El Torito.
It's too bad.
Mascarada, Dorado, whatever.
Yep.
Phenomenal little Mexican dude. All he was the little bull and stuff, and he did some spots.
Yep.
But if you really saw him before when he used to wrestle, back in like that early 2000s for WWE when they had a lot of the Mexican, the minis.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal.
Great guy.
Also, I'm not trying to say because I like this Hornswoggle. Little bum that he's gone because I really like this little cat. You know what I mean? He was a cute little guy.
Love this gimmick, man.
Dude, it was awesome. All the things that he did was fantastic. Being with Finley, how he was going to be Vince McMahon's son, and the look on Vince's face when it was announced that he was his son was priceless.
Yep.
And Hornswoggle.
Yes.
Because back then he didn't talk.
No, he didn't speak.
He didn't talk, so
No.
everything was like,
Yep.
he was so excited. And what a workout. Like, no talking. And he was like so entertaining without talking.
Definitely.
Definitely going to be missed. And I won't be surprised if he's back here and there for little things.
Yep.
You know, there's no doubt. Excuse me. Rapping like crazy today. So it's I'm a little bummed out about Hornswoggle going. Next is a wrestling legend down south. Not so much up here, but Zeb Coulter.
Oh.
Right? Who was Dutch Mantel. Like I said, a wrestling legend. A mastermind behind the curtain.
Also,
mastermind.
A boss for a long time at TNA.
Oh, yes. That's right.
Correct.
That's right. And he was a great worker back in the day. Love his bullwhip. I mean, and one of the hairiest wrestlers I've ever seen in my life, right? Besides like George Steele. But George didn't have any hair on his head.
Right.
You know, Dutch did.
Yep.
But it's too bad, you know what I mean? They didn't really use him to his... He should have just been Dutch Mantel.
I know.
If he would have kept that character, I think he might still be there, and they would have used him more.
But, you know, WWE is all gimmick.
I know. But don't you think he would have got over... So, I mean, he got over everywhere else with the Dutch Mantel.
Of course.
Thing. He should have just came in as Dutch.
I agree.
You know?
Yep.
Do you think he'll ever get in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, of course.
I hope so.
Oh, God, yes.
I really hope to God that Lance Russell goes in soon because he's 92 years old and he's probably not going to be around much longer.
I know.
And he was one of the greatest.
Yep.
He's never really mentioned in the Gordon Solys or the Jim Rosses, but Jim Ross will tell you he's just as good as any of them.
That's right.
And old banana nose, as Jerry Lawler used to call him.
That's right.
But Zeb's gone.
Yep.
Alex Riley.
Mm.
You know, Boston College kid.
Yep.
You know, great look.
Yep.
Was impressed the hell out of me when he first was coming up with the Miz and stuff.
Yeah.
He really did. His matches, his promos, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Then he pissed off John Cena.
Yep.
And that was the end.
And that was the end of his. That was the end of his push anyway.
Dude, he was coming up though.
Yep.
I mean, I really do believe if that didn't happen and they kept pushing him to win his matches, he'd be a huge star right now.
I agree.
Because he had it all.
And then what?
I think he did.
And then
Maybe you guys will disagree.
Then he got bumped all the way down.
Yeah, you know,
Right
piss
back-
off the top guy.
Right back over to NXT.
And it's a shame. But whatever he did, and now he's gone.
Yep.
Wade Barrett, the top guy out of the Nexus group.
Yeah, but you know what? He's another one.
Injury prone, too.
Injury prone, like no one knows. But you know what? He's another one. Oh, I don't like where my character's going. I want more money. I don't like what... Shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Please.
Whiny little bitch.
Whiny. I mean, I can't understand. I will say this forever and ever.
Yeah.
I don't care what you want me to do.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. The paycheck cleared this week? How much more do you need me to do?
Remind me, if I get a company and I get rich, to hire you, because that's exactly the type of...
Trust me, there'll be motivation,
you know
my
what
brother.
I mean? No, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the type of people I would want to hire. People that are hardworking and know what their job is, and they know they don't need a pat on the back to say they did a good job because they already know it.
Because they already know they're doing a great job.
Exactly.
I mean, don't get me wrong, once in a while, which, trust me, they do out back. And you've seen it in shoots and people's cell phones. You know, they're like, you know, oh my God, you did a great job tonight, big hugs, so and so, whatever it is. It's still the fact of the matter of, shut up and do your job.
Yep.
Please.
Exactly.
Please.
I hate it.
You actually got you got one on here that is.
I want to save this one for last, just so you know, because that's one of my favorites. I want to save.
Yeah, I know, but
I really do.
You also, which
I like him too.
Which you don't have one on the list that was with Ryback today, which I can't wait to add to you.
Oh, great! All right, well, let's get through the rest of them.
Okay.
I got 1, 2, 3 more guys to talk about.
Okay.
We'll go with the longest tenured guy on the list, Steve the Brooklyn Brawler Lombardi.
Oh my God.
And I got to say this real quick. Not that it matters about your sexual preferences or anything like that, but from what I've been told, that he had that job for so long because of taking on Pat Patterson.
That's correct.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And he's married with kids.
Yes.
Lombardi. But 30 years in the company, gone.
34.
Okay, 34
Yeah,
years.
34
30
years.
plus years.
34 years.
Gone. Thank you. You know what I mean? See you later. We'll say the later at the end. So now I got 2 more. Santino Marella. You know how I feel about comedy and wrestling. I love it.
Yep.
Every show, like we've talked about before, should have a little bit of everything.
Yes.
You should have your technical matches, your high-flying matches, your comedy matches, your stiff matches, maybe even hardcore.
Yep.
Smashing each other with chairs. You know what I mean? You don't have to do the light tubes. You know what I mean? But it's kind of sad. And you know something? You know what I really respect about him? And I read it today. I can't remember who said it because so many people were saying such good things about him. Here's a guy that was a legitimate badass.
Correct.
Could legitimately kick people's butts, right?
Yep.
And went to a comedy role and got over huge.
Yep.
And my favorite part of him, and I know it's silly and all that, but just like, oh, what's up, David? You know,
Right.
always changing people's names.
Yep.
And that's a gimmick that's been rolled on for years in wrestling.
Yep.
But that guy did it to a T.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Yep.
And I mean, he could work for a guy that really wasn't in wrestling when they found him.
Right.
You know what I mean? He was good. His first match on Raw, he won the title. Do you remember who he beat? I forget because it was it Umaga. That's who it was. It was Umaga. And the whole world, I was shocked.
It was Eddie, wasn't it?
It was Eddie, yeah.
That's right.
He beat Eddie.
Wow.
Think about that. And Umaga at the time was
Huge.
They booked, can you believe it? Back then, they booked a legitimate monster.
It was a nice.
And they booked him right.
It was Intercontinental, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? No,
Yeah.
remember we were always saying how they don't do it right?
Right.
They booked the monster right with him. And he was a legitimate
God rest his
monster.
soul.
I mean,
God rest his soul.
Unbelievable. All right, so Santino's gone. The last guy.
Well, wait a minute. No, you know what?
What?
Let's save our guy because
All right.
our guy for last.
Okay.
But I'm going to add one to this.
All right, let's hear it.
Ready?
This is the first I've heard of it.
Ready?
Yeah.
Christian.
Wow, but is he still going to be doing the network?
No, he's released.
Wow.
Yep.
What? What are they going to do about a show?
They only got, well, they've already been taped, but there's only 2 shows left.
Right.
That's it.
I thought that show was good.
That's it, brother.
Did you like that show?
I thought it was pretty funny.
I liked it.
I liked the vignettes on it.
Me, I loved it.
You know, I like the
how,
vignettes.
How Tommy was always on it.
Yes.
Dreamer.
Yep.
You know, and they had everybody pretty much, everybody, but a lot of people have been on the show for little segments and stuff. Who was beating up Tommy with that cane the other
Sasha.
week?
Oh, no. You know what?
Was it? It was Sasha.
First one was Sasha. The second one was Bailey.
Yes. No, I'm sorry. I didn't see the Sasha one. I saw the Bailey.
Bailey one. Okay, right.
And she's whacking
Yes.
the crap out of him.
Yep.
You remember what the mushrooms?
Yes.
With 2 black eyes. Just little things. If you haven't watched The Edge and Christian, totally reeks of awesomeness show on the WWE Network. You should check it out.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Vince, I'm waiting for my check in the mail for plugging you. But really, though,
Hang on, let me write
wow,
that.
Christian.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing work.
Released.
Wow.
Yep.
Now, you guys know Edge and Christian. I'm sure most of you is.
If you're
One
a
of the
WWE fan, you know Edge and Christian.
I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say that they are as good as the Dudleys or the Road Warriors or whatever, but a great tag team.
Yep.
That was popular when they needed to be popular. They were hated when they needed to be hated. They could do it all.
When they were babies with their faces, whatever they did.
They could do it all.
Yep.
Wow, I'm stunned,
Yep.
and I'm definitely a little bummed.
Yep. And also, just to let you know that they said
bums
that
me out.
by what's the next pay-per-view called?
SummerSlam.
Nope, don't.
No?
The next,
Elimination Chamber?
the one with the axe, whatever they call it. I'll remember it in a second.
Okay. I don't know
Then
the name.
they
but-
said after the next pay-per-view,
Yeah.
they're looking at probably about 5 more.
Wow. We could probably guess on that, but we should know what we should do is maybe next week we'll try to guess.
Okay, yeah.
Seriously, we'll try to save like 5 or 7 minutes. This way we'll have a whole week to think
To
about
think
it
about.
at home,
that-
too.
Yep.
All right. So
I don't want to talk about this one.
I'm sorry, but we got to say it, and I'll tell you right now, the WWE dropped the ball.
Made a
hard
huge mistake.
With this kid. Here's a guy that was playing a second fiddle role to The Miz.
And getting over.
Huge.
Getting over more than the main talent.
Huge. Getting over more than when he was by himself,
Yep.
too. It was unbelievable. Damian Sandow,
AKA.
also known as Aaron Stevens.
That's correct.
Aaron Idol Stevens, even.
Aaron Idol. That's right.
And I'll tell you right now, this guy could work, man. I remember watching him in Chaotic when he was just a young guy.
I
He was
remember
awesome.
watching him at NWANE
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep.
with Tony. So, and Aaron, goes to show you how over he was back then.
Right.
Complete pink with a Britney
Oh,
Spears shirt on.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Really?
Yep.
And he was over huge.
And he wasn't
Pink.
feminine in that. Just
No,
so you know.
no, he just
was,
played.
You know what I mean? He just had the colors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was a handsome dude.
Yep.
And he was part of the.
He did a great job.
Yeah, but it was with Edward G. Ecstasy and Ronnie Delicious.
Oh, I'm God. Yep. You know what? That's another one I'll remember too.
You know something?
Yes.
That's all right, because you know who'll tell us what it is? I guess next week.
Yes.
Rick Palladino will definitely remember what they
That's
were called,
correct.
because he was there.
Yep.
But that was a good group.
Yep.
And I remember Ecstasy and Delicious were pumping it up.
Yep.
Who's going to be the next
Yep.
member of the group?
Yep.
And it ended up being Aaron Stevens. I'd ask you real quick. Do you know Rich Lannon, the old referee?
Of course.
Killer Kowalski?
Of course.
Did you know that I'm related to him? Well, Robin, Elizabeth and Michael's mother, that's her first cousin.
Okay, I got
And
you.
I've known him for years, and I never once took advantage of
No kid.
No
kidding.
I never took advantage of, like, I could have went there and met everybody I
Yep.
wanted to, because Rich is such a great guy,
Mhm.
and was, at the time, probably the top referee in New England, right? At
Yep.
one time, don't you think?
Yep, definitely.
He was definitely the top referee in New England for a good 7-8 years.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, trained by Walter Killer Kowalski.
Correct.
Worked everybody.
Mhm.
Refereed Triple H's first
Yep.
match. Perry Satin's
Yep.
first match. So, I don't think The Rocks. He might have did The Rocks, though. He might have. No, I'm sorry, not The Rock. I'm sorry. Kurt Angle. he
Kurt
did.
Angle, right.
Whose first match was against Christian,
Yes.
a fellow
Yep.
guy that was released. Just had to bring that up.
Yep.
Rich Lannon, I know you're probably watching. Love you, dude. I wish I seen you more, but thank you for always posting pictures and videos of wrestling, and also passing along some pictures and videos of my children when they were little.
Awesome.
I appreciate it, man. I love you.
So I was saying to our wonderful producer
Yeah.
when
We still talking about?
Dame.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
And so when it comes to WWE, which does happen,
Yeah.
when you get released on a clause.
Yes.
You
Where you can't do anything for a certain amount
Well,
of days.
guess what?
He has no clause.
No clause. So
Golf clap.
golf clap?
Golf clap.
Golf clap. Well, guess what? He's already booked.
Oh yeah. You know what
He's
I s-
booked till December.
Right. You know what I saw? You know.
Love
You
it.
know where he's going to? You know, WrestlePro, the old.
Yep, correct.
Now, real quick, I
Yep.
gotta tell you this, man. Now, you know how I was a fan of the Pro Wrestling Syndicate.
Cool.
A far away fan.
Mhm.
I mean, I could only watch it on YouTube because
Yep.
they're down in Jersey. Not that I couldn't. I could have went, but
Right.
you know, it's a pain in the butt to go all the way down there.
Right.
No offense, because the product was great. Well, it's starting to come out. They split. Patton and Eric split,
Okay.
and it's starting to come out some of the things that Eric Pleska did.
Oh.
How come all of a sudden, after Balls Mahoney, rest in peace,
Love you, brother.
dies, the next day he's got 200 signed pictures from him, of him. All of a sudden,
I know.
he's got 200 signed pictures. The guy died. Who's going to be able to, like, how, there's no one there to say, hey, that's not his signature.
That's correct.
And I hope that Balls' wife will go to a show and go, that's, bull. But I guess he's been pulling stunts like this, and that's the reason why
Yeah.
Pat wanted to get out.
Yeah.
They were doing, like, even like right now, he's advertising Hall and Nash for a show that they've already said that they're not going to be there. And people are emailing him saying that they're still going to be there. And he's going, oh, yeah, they're going to be there. Charging so much money for, you know what I mean? And takes money in advance. People were buying DVDs from him and not getting them.
Oh.
And just all kinds of shady stuff. And I'm about to finish this on this real quick, but I had to bring it up because you're in the business. And that's just shady, shady shit.
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
that's worse than Dapper.
You know.
Down at NWS.
Yes,
whatever.
wow.
Oh, Dapper was horrible
Woo.
from the stories I've
Yes.
heard Kevin Matthews say.
Yep.
Kevin, is a plug for you. Kevin's so entertaining.
Yep.
I mean, I could just watch that dude wrestle or talk for hours. He's awesome.
Yep.
You know?
Definitely.
I'm not friends with him or nothing like that. You know what I mean? But I
Right.
just think it's a great work, a great talker. He looks like a cool dude to hang around
Right.
with. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I did meet Kevin one time, though, at a WSU show.
Okay.
I met him and one of his best friends, Kenny Omega, and Danny D'Amato. I met Danny down there, too. It was funny, because back on MySpace, I had my name as Crazy C.
Oh, okay.
And he goes, hey, I know, you're Crazy C. And I started laughing. But, you know, Kevin, shout out to you, Kenny Omega, the leader of the Bullet Club, the cleaner.
Yep.
You know, and Danny D'Amato.
Well,
you know?
it's funny you brought that up because, both my trainers now are deceased.
Right.
You know, and
Yeah.
it's terrible
Yeah.
that, I'm only 42.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
both my trainers, of course, Chris died very young anyway. But it's the fact of that when John went to work for ECW,
Right.
It's
Balls, right?
Balls Mahoney.
Yeah. So you know, no, I hear you. Just want to let them know because I know you.
Right, Balls Mahoney.
Balls Mahoney.
He when he went to work for ECW, we had a great time together. But
Right.
When ECW went
Fun
out,
guy.
oh, just please. Well, yeah.
Crazy.
Great.
You
great
told
guy.
me some things
Yeah.
off here. We'll leave it there.
Oh, yeah. We should leave those.
Yeah, I think so.
And
To honor him.
just please. And when he went to go work for WWE,
Right.
he calls me and he says,
Was this when he was doing Santa Claus, or was this after?
"No, this is actually after WWE.
Right.
Excuse me, after ECW went out of
right.
business."
So when they all came, the
01,
brand
02.
splits and all that. So, okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure we're on the
So
same.
he calls
page.
me up and he says, "I got a contract." I'm like, "You kidding me?" He says, "I'm going to be working for WWE, this and that." I go,
Awesome.
"You got to be kidding me.
Right.
You got to be kidding me."
Right.
Because, of course, Chris Candido worked for WWF.
Right.
And then, Smoky Mountain, so on and so forth.
Yeah. Pretty much worked everywhere.
So
back then.
when WWE released John's action figure,
Yep. Oh yeah, he must have been psyched.
well, first of all, he didn't know.
He didn't know they were doing it.
No.
Wow.
I found two. This is what I did. He just had his son.
Don't tell me it's Christopher.
Correct.
Okay, I thought so.
So
Sorry, his son's cute
I
little.
bought
kid.
two.
Yep.
Okay.
For you,
I
I
put them in a box,
Okay.
and I wrote, a letter to John.
Yep.
I didn't want to call him. I just wanted him.
Yeah. That's a cool thing to do. People
So,
like that.
I wrote him a letter like this.
Yeah.
So pretty much in the end of it, I said, "You know what, brother? The first one is for your son.
Yeah.
The second one, can you sign for me?"
Nice. I was gonna say, dude, how could you not?
Well,
keep one of them?
even though you had to be a mark at one time.
Of course, and I don't care what anybody says. All wrestlers are mocked. And the ones that sit there and say they're not, you're full of crap.
You're full of it.
And you give fans like me a hard time, or
Right.
other fans.
And you know what?
Come on.
You had to be at one time.
That's right.
You had to be.
This is beyond
And it does.
stuff.
So waited a few weeks, and all of a sudden this box comes back. John. I'm like, oh. So I cracked the box open, and you can't see his figure because he wrote so much on the on the unopened container, of course.
He was maybe under the influence when he wrote your letter.
No, okay. So
that's not a bad thing, believe me. Balls is
to my
awesome.
best friend Derek, in training and this
Right.
and that, and I can't believe you've been there with me the whole time,
Right.
and I have that still in the original packaging,
That's
wrapped in
awesome,
bubble wrap,
dude.
put aside. So
Right.
when I do finally get the home that I
Place-
want,
yeah,
that I
you wanna
want
buy
to
your house.
buy my house
Right.
to, he's going to be the center portion next to my brother,
Nice.
next to Bobby
Right.
on the bar,
Right.
and I'm going to
Bobby
put
would love that.
and he would have anyway.
Yeah,
And I'm going to
no.
put him next to Bobby's picture.
Nice.
So it's the fact of the matter of when you lose someone like that. Like I said, both my guys are gone,
Right.
which I
Right.
can't believe.
Yeah. I know, brother.
I was
know.
trained by Balls Mahoney and Chris Candido.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ask? Oh, you can't.
Right. I know. It's sad, bro.
And-
It's sad. I mean, last week you were, getting a little teary-eyed and stuff, but I'm
Yeah.
always here for you, brother. Man,
Of course you are,
I'll
and
give
you've
you a hug
always
if
been,
you need it,
and you
man,
always have been.
in a non-sexual way.
Of course, you always have been, and it's just the fact of that you got guys like this who bitch and complain about their
Yeah.
contracts, and you got
Yeah.
people like Balls Mahoney who would do anything you wanted him to do
Oh yeah.
as long as that check cleared every week.
Absolutely. And he
And-
would have did a hell of a job.
Then you got
too.
guys like this that just make me sick.
I know. It's
Makes me sick, man.
It's sick.
I'd do anything at my age to have one of these guys'
Me
contracts.
too, and I'm not
Just a
even
year.
impressed. Yeah.
Give me 1 year of their contract.
Right,
Let me
right.
show you how.
What
Let
you
me
can
prove
do.
to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me prove to you in 1 year
Yep.
what you pay this guy.
Right.
Let me prove to you whether I get over or whether you're hated
Hey,
or
you'd
where
get
you're
over.
loved.
You'd get over.
No matter what.
Right.
Because you find a way when you're a John Cena type and they hate you but they love you.
Yeah.
You play their both
You
roles.
yeah, and Cena does that well.
He
I
does
love it when he talks about how the guys hate him. And he says it. It's cool.
It's all
That's
right.
your opinion.
That's all right.
It's your opinion.
That's exactly what he says.
You know?
You know?
I want to give him my
Please.
take on Damian Sandow.
Yes.
He, like we were saying earlier, he got over as the Miz's supposed
Yep.
lackey and stuff. But Damian was such a good worker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good kid.
I
Good kid.
didn't know him very well at all, just so you know. I
Mhm.
didn't, right? But like when I did see him at shows and you'd say hi, he would come over, shake your hand, take a picture.
I believe
You know
it.
what I mean? And be nice to you and stuff. Not all wrestlers are like that. Trust me. You know. But I really feel bad about that cut because I really think they dropped the ball. You know, he had been with the company. He got signed in 2004.
Yep.
They released him in 2007,
Yep.
right? Then he returned to OVW
Yep.
on his own when WWE did not have no part
Right.
in that company.
Correct.
And from there, Danny Davis hooked him up to go to Puerto Rico.
Yep.
With Zeb was probably down there
Zeb
at
was
the time.
working for Carlos Colon.
Right. From 2009 to 2010, he was working his ass off in Puerto Rico and getting over.
Yep.
Real quick, when he was in OVW, he was such a stud. Aaron Idol Stevens, at one time, he had 2 girlfriends, Shelly Martinez and Beth Phoenix.
Yep.
I don't know what was going on for real behind the
Right.
scenes, but I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron was having a little fun. But whatever.
Whatever.
Right. Just a phenomenal worker.
Yep.
Phenomenal. Charisma up the wazoo.
Crowd loved him.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that's what I don't understand. When the crowd was eating him up and they weren't using him more, I get frustrated.
Oh, man.
And I love professional wrestling, but I got mad that they weren't using him because he has it all. He has every tool
Complete
that
package.
you need to be a professional wrestler.
Complete package.
He has it all.
Yep.
And to drop the ball and release him, and you know what gets me even more mad? Local guy. Triple H, what are you doing?
I know.
How did you not try harder to push him? And you can't tell me you didn't have anything for him because he could have went right back to Idol Stevens.
Yeah, but you know the whole.
And I like the Sandow character. That was a good character.
But the whole thing was, you saw the last couple of he was in the Battle Royals.
Yes.
And did you see when he was in the ring, the crowd popping
of course
for him?
They all the time. Even he'd be off TV for weeks.
Yep.
For weeks.
Yep.
And he'd come out and the place would explode.
Every time he come out.
And sometimes I even heard chants back then when he was with the Miz and he wasn't coming. Miz would come out, they'd all yell, "We want Miz now."
Yeah. Yep. Right.
You know, the guy's not even out there. And they were chanting for him. And this isn't like Chicago chanting for CM Punk in his hometown.
Nope.
We're talking a kid from Massachusetts.
Right.
He'd be out in California.
Yep.
Texas.
Wherever.
Nevada.
Yep.
Like you said, wherever.
Yep.
Getting over consistently.
All the time. And they let him go.
Drop the ball.
And they let him go.
And like, if you can't tell, I'm like completely pissed.
Well, you're
about
heated
that.
about it because they had a talent that you could do anything you wanted, that he'd do anything for you.
Yep.
And they release him.
And they release him. And that was the dumbest thing. And like Derek said, he's been booked already. Trust me, he's going to make more money this year and next year than he would have in the WWE.
He's already booked up to December, for God's sake, brother.
Oh, yeah. But like I said, I knew right away. Like, I saw it.
Yep.
It's not like I knew.
Right.
But I did know that WrestlePro, which is the old Pat Buck's company, now that he's not with PWS and that scumbag Eric Leska. Again, hey, whatever. That's just my opinion from what I've heard. But nothing for nothing, I knew they were going to book him because they book all the guys.
Right.
They do. And like Rob's going to probably do things with them, Rob Feinstein.
Right.
He's going to do things because he already got Hornswoggle lined up for a bunch of things.
Well, bro, let's put it this way. They've already showed that LPW is putting Colt and him in the ring together.
Really?
Yes.
LPW?
Yes.
Lucky Pro Wrestling?
Yes.
They're going to put Sandow and Colt Cabana in the ring. When?
They haven't announced the date, but they put them next to each other on a
wow. Now,
picture.
real quick, they have a show coming up, and I wish I would have wrote the things down. I'm really sorry, Jim and Chris. I've been wicked busy at work. I'm working 4 to 5 hours, 3, 4, 5 hours overtime every day. I kind of like wrote things down real quick tonight.
Right.
I promise to continue to really give the results of your matches and give you some more plugs. I'd love to have you on the show to plug your shows. I really like your product. I went to a show. I only went to one show. It took me a long time to get there, and shame on me.
Right.
Because you guys are great guys, and I really should have supported you earlier. All right, listen, Derek, we only got a few more minutes left.
Okay, buddy.
And this is something that I wanted to talk about, and I told you about this today. The Boston Red Sox.
Oh, my God, are they flying?
Unbelievable, right?
Wow.
Unbelievable. And on top of it, the number 9 hitter, Jackie Bradley Jr.
Man.
Center field.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. He just had, okay? They just swept the Oakland Athletics by the scores of 14-7, 13-5, and 13-3. Jackie Bradley Jr., all he did was he had 14 at-bats. He had 8 hits. He scored 4 runs. He drove in 13.
Let's see, yeah, he had, how many RBIs did he have?
13.
Right.
And he hit 3 home runs in 3 days. In 3 days. Think about that. 3 home runs. One of them was a grand slam.
Right.
He didn't walk at all, and he had 2 strikeouts. But think about that. 8 for 14. That's over 500. That's over 500 batting. Now, granted, it's just 3 games.
In 3 games.
But unbelievable. But the Sox are red hot.
Yep.
The pitching that everybody was worrying about, David Price hasn't really had the start he wishes, but his record doesn't really indicate it because he's 4-1.
Right.
His ERA's up there, though.
Yep.
6.75, which is very high ERA. But the other pitchers that are doing well, Stephen Wright's only got a 3-3 record, the knuckleballer, the number 5 starter.
Yep.
But this kid is unbelievable. He's been, and I'm sure he's worked with Wake, old knuckleballer.
I better believe it.
Tim Wakefield.
Better believe it.
I really like this kid. He's coming on strong. He wasn't even supposed to be in the rotation. He was supposed to be a long inning guy, which you'd only see here and there. Look at him.
I know.
Unbelievable. And
taking names.
Rick Porcello.
Yep.
5-1. A 2.95 ERA. How many? 41 strikeouts, 8 walks. 8. That's it. Just 8.
I know.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Rick gives up a few home runs, but he hasn't really given up a lot this year. But
right.
5-1. This guy is just incredible. We'll go to the reliever, Craig Kimbrell.
Yep.
He had a rough start, but he's up to 9 saves. He's got an ER. He's 0-1, but that doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
The 0-1 is the one was come from opening day.
Right.
When he gave up that big home run to
Yep.
the third baseman, Chris Davis.
Yep.
For Baltimore. Did you hear that? My stomach, man, I'm hungry. My stomach just went, you guys might have heard it. But he's come along, he's got 9 saves. He's like 4th in the league in saves. The batting average against him, really impressive. .128. That's really, really good.
It's crazy.
He doesn't walk a lot of guys. He's got 24 strikeouts. But if the Sox can keep doing this and get Eduardo Rodriguez back and get him to be pitching, if they could ever get Clay Buchholz to get on the right page. But I'll be honest with you, it's time to let him go, man. Really. It is. I'm sorry, Clay, but if you can't be consistent, you got to go. Real quick, because we're running out of time here. Travis Shaw, David Ortiz, Xander Bogaerts, Jackie Bradley Jr., Dustin Pedroia, and Hanley Ramirez. That's 6 guys out of the 9 guys that bat. They're all hitting over 300.
That's right.
All of them.
That's right.
And Brock Holt's close to it, too.
Right.
Like I said, they just came off a 3-game sweep of the Oakland A's. I think the Sox could go far. They got to stay healthy. I think Pablo Sandoval going on the DL changed a lot of things, too, because now Travis Shaw ain't looking over his shoulder. It opened up the door for Rutledge, the kid that's playing backing him up. Pretty good fielder. I like the Sox chances this year. We got to hit a game because I know I'm going to go.
Sounds good, brother.
But listen, any plugs?
How about you looking for a car? You looking for any kind of car, truck, anything like that? Come to Tully Automotive, 147 Daniel Webster Highway. BMW, GMC, Buick, Chevy, whatever you're looking for. Great guys, great people. Best body shop in all of Nashua.
See anyone with the cars? I think I'll go with the cars. My ex-father-in-law, Rod McIntyre, at Rod's Automotive down on Canal Street.
Canal Street.
Go see Rod. Tell him Leo sent you.
That's right.
I'm his ex-son-in-law. But one time he probably wasn't too happy with me. But I know one thing. I gave him a granddaughter, and I know.
That's right.
And I get along great with Rod. He's a super guy. But make sure you get on and see him and tell him that Leo said hi. You can even say Sarah said hi even. You know what I mean? Because that'll win you some fun.
That's right.
But guys, that's it for us tonight. Next week, Rich Palladino. The week after,
Can't wait.
Sonny Goodspeed. Hopefully, Sheldon Goldberg. I'm hoping to get you in here soon, too. But you ready?
Ready?
Peace!
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.